All right, we have a lot of people asking about freeze drying. So today is going to be kind of the freeze dryer 101 video. So let's get started. So we're in what used to be the homeschool room. It is now graduated to my office, and I have canned goods, stuff that I can. We have the freeze dryer over here. We have incubators going over here, my sewing machine. So this is kind of the do everything room. It's always kind of a chaotic mess, but it's okay. This is it's what we have to do. So let me show you the freeze dryer. All right, so here we go. This is a Harvest Right. There it goes, trying to get the glare off of it. It's a Harvest Right freeze dryer. This is a medium size. It has 4 trays in it. And today we are freeze drying squash from the garden. And unfortunately, this is about 1/3 of the squash that I have in there. So I've got to figure out something to do with the rest of it. This freeze dry will take about a day and a half maybe, since, squash does have liquid in it, but it's not just like a super wet ingredient. We freeze dried milk and bone broth and things like that, and they take a lot longer to do. So this is where it goes. It sits in its own little cage in there. And we put this in to help insulate everything and lock it up. And you can set this, you can just hit start and it will do its own thing. But I like to customize mine, because whenever you customize it, you can adjust the time that you need, but it also gives you more information on the display as it works. So I'm going to adjust the cycles. As you can see, the first thing is the freeze time. So it's set for 9 hours. So this freezes your product, and our friend and neighbor, Jim, can give you all the information. I'm gonna sit. Can give you all the information about how this works, why it works, and all that. I don't really know, and I'm okay. I'm okay not knowing all the ins and outs of everything. I'm okay with it as long as it works. So for this, I'm gonna leave the standard freeze time. Actually, I'm gonna increase it just a little bit, just so that I do have this as a customizable feature. And the final dry time is 7 hours. So there's actually 3 cycles. There's one that's in between the freeze time and the final dry. And it will just run until it senses that enough moisture has already been pulled out of whatever you're freeze drying. And then it will kick over to the final dry. Here is the oil pump that works with it. Whenever the freeze cycle is finished, the next cycle will start and it will kick in this pump. Now this, you do have to, you change the oil every cycle. So under here, I have all of my handy dandy stuff. I've got my Mylar bags, my oxygen absorbers. That's the vacuum oil that we use for this. And I use a Brita water filter, water pitcher with a filter. I can't even say it. So whenever we drain the oil, it drains down into this pitcher at the floor. We freeze that oil to take out any of the water that's in it, and then it goes into this pitcher that is actually fitted with a roll of toilet paper, because it filters everything a lot better. So then the oil filters through that, and we are able to reuse the oil. So I'm gonna come over here, and this is where the water drains out whenever the thing is finished. So in order to start it, you need to make sure that this valve is closed. That way no air is coming up through there. And we make sure that this is closed so that no oil can escape. And we're gonna hit Start Custom. Let's see if I can get where you can see it again. So it says, please close the drain valve. And we just did that. We're gonna hit Continue. So that is the freeze time that it has remaining. So in 9.5 hours, it'll bounce over to its next cycle. And I will try to show you if I can remember. But I'll update you as you go. Like I said, this will be about a day and a half. So I'll show you the end result. All right, so we are now in the second cycle of the freeze dryer. We're trying to get the papers on it. So this is the middle cycle where it will just turn off and go to the third cycle whenever it senses that the moisture has been removed enough. I think this starts at like 30 hours. I'm not sure, I don't remember. But now you can hear the vacuum pump running. So this is as loud as it gets. It's not unbearably loud to be in the house. It gets a little bit warm in here, but not too bad. And I will update you again whenever we go to the next cycle. I got up this morning and we are finally on the final dry. So we've got 5 hours to go, and I'll see it whenever it's finished. So our process is complete. Yay! So the first thing we have to do is open this valve, the little, to let air in so that we can open the door. Y'all don't need to see me in that door. I am hot and sweaty, been outside. We're trying our best to finish the beehive. We've got to get them in their new hive quickly. Open the latch. This creates a vacuum seal around here as it's working. So letting the air in breaks that seal so that we can open the door. Almost done. Here we go. Let's take away our cover. And here is our freeze-dried squash. Can you hear it crunch? I don't know if you can see, but there's a layer of ice around the outside. So I'm going to take all the trays into the kitchen and make sure that everything is completely freeze-dried. You don't want any cold spots. I'll be right back. All right, so here's all 4 of our trays. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're popping like Rice Krispies. And I think that's because I wasn't here whenever the cycle finished, so the trays are really cold. But it feels like everything is dried all the way through. I don't feel any cold or wet spots in the actual squash. So everything looks good. So I've got my Mylar bags and my oxygen absorbers, and I'm gonna go ahead and pack these up. So now that all of the food is out of the freeze dryer, we are going to defrost it. So I'm just gonna hit continue. So it takes 2 hours to defrost. Let me open it again and show you. That is the ice that's built up. Now I did have to put the squash back in because once I got it out, there were still some cold places in some of the larger cuts, and we have been busy all day, so I've just extended the time and left it in. So we have a lot of ice buildup, but that will defrost, and as it defrosts, it comes out of that tube and into the bucket, and we go and dump that out. So here's all the squash again. I've got to take it back to the kitchen and get it packaged up. Excuse my messy desk though. All right, here's our Mylar bag, and I'm just gonna go ahead and label it. And I'm gonna put the date. This is our oxygen absorber. So that goes in the bag. I think our grandfather clock goes off every time I video. And our tripod is out in the building where Doug has been using it. So I'm trying to do this with one hand, which is not very effective. So I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna put the oxygen absorber in the bag and go ahead and load up the squash. A lot of times I'll put them in jars, but I'm just in a hurry tonight, so I'm gonna put them in bags because it's quicker and easier. And here is the final product. Now these have been sealed, and I seal this with my food saver, but then I go back with actually a straightening iron, or you can use a regular clothes iron or an impulse sealer, whatever you have, and seal these edges. So I'll do that in just a minute. I've got my oxygen absorbers in food saver bags, so that's resealed. And I kept one jar, and it's got the oxygen absorber in it for us to snack on. So we're gonna be taking a road trip tomorrow, and these will be part of our snacks. So this is start to finish of the freeze drying the squash. And I've had a couple of people ask how you use it. And that is kind of a more complicated answer. So once I cook with some of it, I will try to do a video. I also like to just kind of, I have some that is shredded that I've freeze dried. And so I'll just throw that in soups and stews and things like that. But you can easily just rehydrate these and cook them as you normally would. Or, like I said, just eat them as a crispy snack. So hope you guys enjoyed the little lesson. If you have any questions, let me know. Just comment below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Talk to you guys later. Bye.